Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter in the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of two, soon to be an empty nester, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a newish mom, and I work in higher ed.
In this episode, we continue with our Festival of Planning.
But first, we have some input on our puzzle conversation about our Thanksgiving tradition of bringing a puzzle, whether we should or not.
Right.
And this input is coming from Norm. My husband listens to the podcast.
He's one of our first listeners.
It's true.
Thank you, Norm, for being a longtime listener.
He listened to our episode where we mentioned him quite a bit and his relationship to puzzling and thought that he would weigh in with his own perspective. So we'll share that memo here.
Hey, happier ladies. This is Norm. Just listened to the episode. Love your show. Love your show. And just listened to the part about the Thanksgiving debrief and the puzzle. And while it's fresh in my mind, I've got some thoughts. I do concur. I like the puzzle, but I like it as a family activity. And if only I am doing it, then it's like, well. And I hear all the things you're saying, the pros and cons. I totally agree about the Hygge Cozy vibe. Definitely into it for the Hygge Cozy vibe. I also hear you about the challenges with a little toddler. We don't want him to eat and or destroy the puzzle. So part of the question might be like, if it's a go or no go, is there a place that's safe for the puzzle, like high enough, but also communal area enough? Because it's also no fun if it's just a puzzle in the corner and like, oh, well, there's Norm in the corner or in the back shed with the puzzle. That's not been the case. But, something that's going to be sort of close to the heart of the action. And then it could be fun. I don't think we should do toddler size pieces because, maybe we do something like that. It's a kid zone puzzle specifically for Indigo. That could be fun. But I don't think parents and grown-ups are going to really love puzzle with four pieces. I think 500 or above would be the minimum there. And another option is something that is kind of kid friendly as well as sort of adult friendly, like maybe blocks where you can build a tower or something. I don't know. I think there's options. We can be in the puzzle theme it could be puzzle adjacent, but still have those cozy hygge vibes like your show provides.
All right, Azizi, thoughts?
Okay, he brings up some good points. I appreciate his wanting to have community around the puzzles and not be solely responsible for keeping the tradition alive. And I think we should have two puzzles because, look, he should not knock the children's puzzles. Like, having a win right away actually builds confidence. So
True.
I think we should get the children's puzzles for Indigo with the large pieces, but really it can be for all of us. Maybe we get 2 or 3 of those because we got that. And then we also have the puzzle with more pieces for the adults. And I hear him. We'll have to look at the layout of the house and where we can have this puzzle live. He's got good points, and I want to try to work on it.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think he has good points, but I feel like if we've got 2 puzzles going, that's just too much. Like, I would rather just do the toddler puzzles and have a couple of those that we know we can put out in the carpet and Indigo can be involved versus having like a secret puzzle zone. Not secret, but like
secret
this
puzzle.
is just complicating it for me as like another thing to bring that we may or may not even use.
Yeah, I hear you. You're probably right, Malika. That's wise. And then thinking about it, if it's a puzzle that's out of the way, it's going to be out of the way.
Exactly.
So I think we lean in hard to the kids' puzzles.
Yes.
And we just get maybe 1 per day,
Yes.
And I wonder how little, like what's the sweet spot for Indigo in terms of size and chewability?
He's pretty good about not putting things in his mouth anymore that aren't food.
Okay.
I mean, if it has a choking hazard on it, maybe not, but I do like the idea of blocks or something else that's, like, tangible and buildable.
See, I don't like blocks.
No? Alright.
No. I mean, sure, for indigo, but
You wouldn't get involved with blocks.
I don't think it draws people in the same way.
Okay.
Everybody's working on their own thing. People aren't
Okay.
sharing. I don't know.
Alright, I hear you.
I don't
I
I
hear
don't
you.
know. Let's do the kid puzzle, see where that goes.
Alright.
Thank you, Norm.
Whew.
Cross that off our list now. Welcome to part 2 of Festival of Planning. So, if you have not listened to the first part, I highly recommend you go back to episode 60. That's where we talk about just some of the fundamentals of the different tools we use and some of our processes around planning. And there's lots more to talk about. We're going to jump in. We're going to talk about lists to start us off. So, Malika, what kinds of lists are you keeping these days?
So most of my lists are in my Notion environment account. I have a list of media to try. So podcast recommendations, book recommendations, movies, TV. And then I actually have kind of been keeping track of the books that I've read this year there,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing else, which is a little uneven. Like, why am I not keeping track of the podcasts I'm listening to or the
Mm.
movies I've seen? I don't know. A book feels like special to me.
Mhm.
I have a list of like local happenings. So things that I hear about in Pioneer Valley, or I'll see a flyer of something, especially if I like am looking for an event and I missed it. Like there was an Easter thing at this park last year that I missed. And so now it's on my list to check for it for next year
Mm.
so we don't miss it. I have a list of date night ideas, which I do not add to or reference nearly enough. I kind of forget that it's there.
If there's
It's
a
not a
list
great
that
list.
doesn't get added to or looked at, is it even really a list?
Or I don't know. Planner existential questions.
Mhm.
I do have a packing list per your recommendation, and I think some listeners too who gave travel hacks for happier, but just like a standardized list that I can update for a specific trip, but it has all the basics on it. I do keep a list of year-round gift ideas. I have a list of reset plans. So this is where I kind of keep track of, like, in my perfect world, what would a weekly reset include? Like, what questions am I asking myself at the end of the week or the end of the
Mm.
month? And I also put in there the quintile system questions and things to think about for each quintile.
Mhm.
So I use that as a reference when I'm doing that kind of planning. And then I have a list of wardrobe needs. And per somebody's recommendation, I think it was a listener, I'm also keeping a list of like brands that have my size that fit well.
Mm.
So like if I'm looking at something like secondhand thing online, like ThredUp, I know which brands to look for. I have a list called Self-Care and Beauty Team. So this is where I keep track of like there's a massage place that I've gone to many times and like have had different people there, but I kind of write down the names if I really like someone so I can try to request them
Mm.
the next time. Or like at a nail salon, I make a note if there's somebody I really like or that I don't like.
Ooh.
Not in a like
Don't like you. Going on
their
my list.
reputation. I just want to make sure I don't accidentally become their client again unintentionally.
Okay.
We're not a good fit.
Mhm.
And then I have a list of astrological happenings, which I'm not quite sure what this is. It's kind of a space where I just put things that I want to remember. Like we had our whole conversation about angel numbers.
Mm.
And so I ended up finding an article that like had some interpretations. And so I saved that there. So
Cool.
it's kind of bits and bobs of tarot and astrology that I pick up or want to hang on to.
Still haven't seen an angel number. It's
Are
not in
you
the cards
kidding
for
me?
me.
I feel
I'm
like I
not.
send them to you.
Well, yeah, I've seen the ones you've sent to me, but that doesn't count.
All right. I see them constantly.
I don't see them in the wild. I'm angel number blind. It's okay. That's just a part of me. That's a
It's
part of my
okay.
quirk.
What are your lists, Azizi?
I have a lot of similar lists. but I won't go over those. So I'll go over some of the other lists that I have. I have a list called Product Hall of Fame,
Oh,
where if there's a product that I've been using regularly or that I've repeatedly buying it, I add it to my list. There's something just really nice about going over and seeing the things I'm using at different points in my life. And so that's one that I've had for several years now.
that's fun.
I have a list of activities that make me feel better.
Mm,
So I've talked about this before, sort of if I'm feeling shame or if something's not going well, just a go to list of things that I know I can do or try that will help me feel better. And I add to that list. I have a list that I crave. It's an Apple Note, just random things I crave. So if I'm reading a magazine and there's a product there, I'll just send the link to my note. Or if
mm,
I am in a store, I'll take a picture of a thing. This works with kids also. Like, we can't buy it, but do you want me
right.
to take a picture of it and remember it for later? I do that for myself. So I take a picture of a fragrance or something that I like, I add it to my crave list. And then, when I have the means or it's time to purchase something, I can remember. I have a doctor note.
Mm,
This is a list of just questions for my doctor because when I'm in the doctor's appointment, I will forget what was that weird thing that was happening that I wanted to ask about or what thing did I want to look more into. So I have a running doctor list. I have just a list of thoughts. And I think I talked about this last time also, just random quotes I come across or something that I heard someone say that made me feel better, or I think, oh, this could be helpful for me later. I'll capture that in a note.
mm-hmm.
I have bucket lists for specific locations and seasons. So if I know I'm traveling to some place, I'm going to create a bucket list of things I'd like to do while I'm there, or bucket list for all the seasons, things that I want to do in the fall and the winter and so on. I have a list of airports that I have visited and little notes about each one. As I started to make this list, I think I've visited this year 11 different airports.
Wow.
And so I know when I realized that with all the connections, not that I'm leaving and going to visit that location, but just that airport. And it was really interesting to kind of think about those experiences and remember the restaurants that I like to eat at or what is nice about that airport to look forward to, even if it's a connection for 2 hours. And then, of course, groceries, the shopping list, which is essential. So that's also an Apple Note. All of these lists, some of them are Apple Note, some of them are in my discbound journal. And yeah, those are the lists that I'm keeping up these days.
I really like the Products Hall of Fame. That could be a podcast episode.
I told you, Malika, we should do that. It's called empties. It's
Empties.
a thing.
Yes, I know. That's what I was thinking of. Empties.
It's those things that you have used up and then buy again because there's so
Yeah,
many things we just try and we don't go back to. So I'd love to do that with you.
fun.
All right. So, Malika, how does your planning intersect with other family members?
So, Norm and I have a shared Google Calendar that's really fundamental. And Indigo has a calendar for his daycare program. This year, they put it as a Google Calendar that they just added everybody to, which is just like brilliant. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. We used to do bi-monthly meetings that we called Amandi Meets, but they have really fallen off, unfortunately. And so
Oh, I remember that. That sounded so
it
fun.
will come back. It just feels very hard to make that a consistent thing in our current season. So a
Mhm.
lot of the planning tends to be ad hoc. And I'm definitely like the planner person in the family. So I will put things on the calendar or we'll have a brief conversation and I'll put it on there.
Mhm.
That's pretty much how it works. I mean, we do have to coordinate like everything. So we're always
Yeah.
talking about our schedule and like, what do you have today? Or who's going to pick up? That kind of thing. So it's a
Yeah.
constant conversation, but it's not systemized necessarily. We have the Echo Show 15. I talked about that in a previous episode in a kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like a monitor on the wall. It's connected to our Google Calendar, so you can kind of see what's coming up that day. I still kind of think we would benefit from a large paper calendar on the wall, maybe something
Mm.
similar to what you use, because there's nothing like
Mhm.
seeing that monthly view, which for whatever reason,
Right.
we have not figured out how to do that on this device. Even though that's why we purchased it, it was like, oh, yeah, there's probably more work I can do to figure out how to maximize that, but it's good to know what's coming.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But we do have, speaking of the kitchen space, like, so there's the Echo Show on the wall, and then next to it, I have three. They're like whiteboard Post-its that are
Mm.
a little bigger than 8.5 by 11 that you can stick on the wall. So basically made a whiteboard there and then a whiteboard on the fridge as well. And so that's where we put like groceries that we need. We have somebody who helps us clean twice a month and like we'll put notes for her. Whatever needs to go in Indy's lunch, like a special, he needs more diapers at daycare. Usually it's me putting those notes there for myself, but
Mhm.
I like to think we're all participating in it.
Okay. All right. Nice thought.
Yeah. We used to put on there on the fridge, like just what was in the fridge because there's so much that gets hidden. So it would be,
Mm.
don't forget to eat this, this, and this. Or these are the things that I made. Like Norm would roast some veggies and I didn't necessarily know about it and wouldn't look for it. So he'd put it on the fridge.
It's a funny problem,
I
right?
know.
Like what's in the fridge and eating it before it goes bad. In our house, Grayson's job is to eat the leftovers. I mean, and I didn't ask him to do that. It's just kind of a role that he's taken
That's
on. Like
funny.
when he gets home from work, he's really hungry. So he has kind of like an afternoon snack, which is our leftovers. And then on his days off, he like incorporates it into his lunch. But actually, I help out with that more because I'm taking leftovers for lunch more and more also. So not so much a problem.
That's funny. What about for you, Azizi? How does your planning intersect with other family members?
I am the planner in the house and I have the most complicated schedule. It just makes sense and it's fine. Everybody's, no one's upset about
Right.
that or asking to do more. So it is up to me to keep all the things organized. And I do check in with everyone to ask them what is on their seasonal bucket
Mm,
list before I start planning the quintile. I'll say, like, what are you hoping to do in the fall or what are you hoping to do this spring? So I can keep that in mind and look for opportunities to incorporate those things that they want to do. We have the shared shopping list. It's the Apple Note. And so if someone wants me to buy something, they know to just add it to that list. And I get a notification when they've added something to the list. I refer to that before I do my shopping, and that has worked really great for us. I do have a shared Google Calendar. I have a family, like a Williams family calendar, but really the only person who looks at it is Alea.
oh.
She's in Connecticut. She's away in college right now. It's kind of funny, but she comes back, and so her travel and understanding what her plans are like when she comes back, and she likes that. I add things to that. So here's the thing. Here's the Google thing. I have my Google work
Mhm.
calendar that I have to share with several people.
Yes.
So my assistant and some of my colleagues that I work with who also do scheduling for me. So I have the work calendar that I have to share work relevant things or things that are going to impact my work day with all those people. And then I use the family calendar for personal things that I don't need everyone
Yeah.
in my work life to know or see. And so I manage two calendars quite actively. And the family calendar is one that I share also with Ilea. After I've done my quintile planning and I've sketched out my months on my iPad calendar that I talked about last time, I then take that calendar and I fill out a paper calendar. So just an old school wall calendar. I rip out the pages for each month in that quintile and I fill it out. I, add the
Mm,
events in my life that are relevant to other people. If I'm going to be home late or Sanaya's out of school, conference, those kinds of things. When our cleaning person is coming, gardeners, all that. So that's all on the wall calendar and I add seasonal stickers to it sometimes. And then that goes in the hallway, a quintile at a time. So right now we have November and December up so that not just one month, but they can see ahead also. And people refer to it. People stand in the hallway, look at it, add to it. I cross things out. And if something happened that I didn't note, I try to go back and fill it in because then I save those. I've just started the system kind of this year. It'll be interesting to be able to go back and look at before I sketch out the month,
mhm.
look at what happened last month and notice any differences or things I need to incorporate. So that's my system. This next year, it's exciting, Malika, because we get to buy new things. The year's coming, the year's ending, and 2025 is coming. So now that I know I use the paper calendar this way, I could like really buy a beautiful paper calendar. The one that I'm using now is a free one that I just got. And so I'm already on the lookout for a really beautiful wall calendar that I can get.
Would you ever consider like a reusable one, like a whiteboard one, or you really want to save it each year?
I like the paper and pen. I like the
Yeah.
feeling of writing on paper and I like crossing things out. And I don't think I like the whiteboard feel and look. So no.
All right.
No plans for that.
My coworkers just got like a 12-month calendar that's a whiteboard
Hmm.
because they're doing some year-round planning and needed to map things out. But it was just like, I don't know how big it is, maybe like 4 feet by 3 feet or something. And I was
Wow.
just like, ooh, can we keep this in the
You like
hallway?
it?
And they're like, no, it's not for, it's just for our
But you know
project.
what?
There was something about seeing the whole year that just felt like exciting.
Yeah. I feel like it would become invisible after a while.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Like, if you're not changing it, I know that you're erasing it and adding new things to it, but the overall look of it, I feel like would just start to blend in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is very tidy, and certainly you could do something like that. Let's take a break, and when we get back, we'll talk about our year in planning.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready to go online cart.
Oh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
So, Azizi, how did it go planning your whole year? Would you do that again?
I loved it. I really did. I would absolutely do it again. I feel like it's essential to take that long view and think about how you want to feel for each month. So we both took the Best Laid Plans at Home course and changed the way I plan. We've talked about this so many times. Just that quintile planning really struck a chord for me. So I did it, and I'll continue to do that. It was helpful to have these dedicated times to look back over the goals each month as I planned ahead, and helped to keep me organized and kind of on track, or organized in a way that I hadn't been before. And I also want to shout out the Happiness Project work. I started the year strong with that. I know it got a little bit harder once the work year started again in September. I think I kind of fell off a bit. But for those months starting in January, it was really helpful to layer that on as well. And I will definitely look back over those themes and think about if there are aspects of those themes that I want to continue as I look ahead in the next year.
Excellent. Well, so glad you found a new system. That's just exciting when that comes around.
Yeah, me too. How was your year, Malika?
It was good. I think I like doing the course with you and having the overview, but I feel like I wish I had more time to digest it. And there were a lot of things that we kind of talked through in the moment, but I felt like, oh, I'll come back to this. I just never did. So that feels like a theme for me in my planning this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do the course again. So this is good for me to know I really need time. Sarah Hart Unger also offers, she did last year, I don't know if she'll do it again this year, like a planning by season where you do your quintile planning with other people. So that's like also a dedicated time. And I think it's like my obligerness needs that, where I have to show up for other people. I believe, I don't know, I'm speculating here. It also just might not be the right time in my life to be all in on this. You know, like I'm doing my best and I think it's pretty good. Is it the way that I imagine it in my head? No, but I think it's probably fine also. So I realize that my 24 for 24 list is very prominent in shaping the year. And so it's good to remember
Mm.
how much I use that. And I think next year, maybe I'll be more strategic with that to kind of really use that to incorporate everything I want to do, like all of my goals and
Mm.
things.
You can have a seasonal aspect to your
That's
24
true.
or 25 for 25. That's a really interesting concept.
Yeah. And I think I learned a lot this year about my job and what the cadence of it is.
Mhm.
So I think going into 2025, I just have more information about how to plan, like things in the summer,
Right.
I just didn't really know what it would be like. And so that's going to be helpful, I think, going forward.
You are very busy, Malika, and you have a small child and, a newish job. So I think you did a fantastic job with all that you were able to plan, all the systems you were able to maintain. And the quintile planning, it does require quiet
Hmm.
time where you're alone, not disrupted. It does take a lot of time. And, I have more of those spaces now. So it's aligned for where I'm at in my life.
Yeah, I think it's good though. I'm happy to be in touch with this way of planning because it does keep me accountable in a lot of ways. And it's fun to talk about with you and know that we're both doing these similar systems.
Yeah, and it doesn't take the place of the 25 for 25. That is still really the number of times, probably weekly, I was going back to that list and looking at it and maintaining it. And so I am really grateful for that as well. That continues to be impactful system in my life. Okay, to close us out, let's talk about planning challenges or obstacles or areas of growth. What do you want to work on? What are you thinking about, Malika, and reflecting on your planning process?
So I think consistency is the main thing. And I'm reminded of this quote from one of my mentors, which is do less more often.
Hmm.
So I think I really like having the physical planner, my Hobonichi weeks. I think if I could print some things out and paste them in there or add some of the things in Notion in there so that I'm having that tactile experience more regularly to reference things and look at them, that will help me keep that daily connection. I think even adding to like the setup. So I have a cover for it that has like little pockets in it. And I've been inspired by like the YouTuber planner people that I watch, and their planners are decked out. They've got trinkets hanging off. There's like
Hmm.
stickers on every divider. I don't think I can go there, but I do like the idea of it being like it reminds me of like a locker in middle school.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you get to put, like a picture of your friends and like an inspirational quote or something, but it was like your little expression and a thing that you opened 10 times a day. And so I really want that locker feeling with my planner.
Going for that locker feeling. That's so funny. Yes.
So I think something else I would like to grow into is like the memory keeping,
Hmm.
which I've also kind of got this phrase from the YouTuber people, but really taking time to remember what happened, not journaling about it necessarily at length, but even just jotting a couple notes of like what we did over the weekend.
Hmm.
Because I think those things are really fun to look back at, but you got to take that time to
Yeah.
reflect.
Yep.
So I mentioned in the last episode, I'm considering the Hobonichi 5-year journal. I think that would be a good place for that. That's not like competing with any planning. I would be using it just for that. And then I think using the weekly and monthly spread in my work planner, because that's just unused. I'm really not using those pages. And I want to find a way to use it that would be meaningful for my work.
Hmm.
I put things on my Outlook calendar. Sometimes I put things that I need to get done at a certain time, like tasks. But for the most part, those are events and meetings. And so maybe it's more of a like planning out my task management over the week. I don't know. I've got to think through it, but there's like a lot of potential in that book, and I carry it everywhere when I'm at work.
So you might as well use it to
Exactly.
its full potential. It's interesting you were talking about aesthetics, and my disc bound is kind of like my locker. I hadn't thought about it that way. But there's like a clear pocket, and I put in one of my motivational cards, It says,
Mhm.
"You got this," and like a really beautiful postcard sized note that is in
Mhm.
that pocket. So every time I open it, I see that
Mhm.
before I flip to other areas. So that's really interesting how it becomes so personal.
Yes. What are your challenges and growth goals, Azizi?
I do want to lean into the aesthetics of my disc bound. I do. And I just bought this not randomly, again, at your suggestion. And there weren't many options. And so I kind of got what was there. And the option that I got, I like, and it's textured. So it feels good. It's certainly the right size. But all of my dividers, my tabs and things are kind of just haphazardly done, different kinds of post-its
Hmm.
because I just didn't know what I was doing and I didn't quite have my chapters defined. And so it's a little ragtag. And I feel like there's an opportunity to maybe use a label printer
Mm.
and use, all the same kind of tabs or color code the tabs somehow because I was just trying a bunch of different things. And so I know a little bit more about how I'm going to use it. So I want to lean into that. And then the other piece is I got this so that I can take pages out and add pages in and keep some things there. And so I imagine there's going to be some routine around the new year about how I
Mm.
reset it. And I don't know what that routine is yet. How do I reset it? And what do I do with the pages that I'm going to take out? Maybe my journal pages from last year. I need a whole nother box or either its own, like more discs and a cover to
Right.
create now a 2024 version. Like I need to figure out what is that system going to be to reset for the new year. Another thing is I need a journal routine. Like I need a distinct time when I journal every day
Okay.
because in my head, it's before I go to bed and I'm in bed. I have my journal out. I write a few sentences and then I can't keep my eyes open. I'm like, I can't finish it. And like, that's not a system that is working then. I need a time when I am not tired, probably the morning, which goes back to all my issues with waking up early. But I need to find the time to write. And then it sounds like you have different steps that you take or things that you're going to do in your journal or prompts that you always ask yourself. And so I want to develop those also. Like what I
Mm.
say this and then I do this, or I spend a few minutes here and then there.
Mhm.
And sort of I'm not figuring it out when I get there.
Mhm.
So that's another goal that I have for myself. And then the last one is I just learned about a journaling workshop that WW offers. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so exciting
Mm.
because I do WW. I've talked about that a lot. It's Weight Watchers. I attend their virtual meetings pretty much weekly, like just their check ins. And they've started offering all of these specific kinds of workshops for specific goals or targets. And so one of them is about how to journal on your WW journey. So that's something that I want to take.
Well, tell me all about it.
I will. I will share the prompts with you. I can then host a workshop for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, that's the end of our planner festival. I just want to. That was an awkward
Festival is
transition.
over. The festival is now
Festival
over. You
closed.
can exit the fairgrounds.
I had so much fun. I'm curious to hear from others what your planning rhythms and routines are. We would love to hear what they are. It's just always inspiring getting more ideas and like this is just the daily life, the
Yeah.
tools that we use to actually move from day to day.
Right. And I want to know, like, listeners, what are your lists? What kinds
Yeah.
of things do you track? What tools do you use? Definitely share that with me. I could see doing this maybe once a year
Ooh,
because
like an update.
there's always an evolution.
Yeah.
Things always shift or change, or even just an update, even if it's not a whole festival, but just kind of a segment where we update folks about our journaling and planning process.
Yes. And we've mentioned Sarah Hart Unger many times, but if this is really exciting to you, I highly recommend her podcast, Best Laid Plans, where every week she kind of dives into planning related topics. So I've certainly learned so much from that show and her systems.
I was very skeptical, Malika, when you first started talking about her, as I am with many things. And I was
You're
like, "Do
such
I
a
really need
questioner."
this? Such a questioner. This sounds very boring. Why would I listen to a whole podcast about this? And it's fantastic. So I am definitely won over.
All right. Well, let's take a break. And when we get back, we will share our peaks and valleys.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Cerma Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection. Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
We're back with peaks and valleys because in life, there are always peaks and valleys. And this is an odd episode. So, Malika, you're up first with a peak.
So my peak is that I went to a restorative yoga and massage workshop yesterday. This was my third time attending. This yoga studio does them almost once a month. And it's just so good. It's like, I realize one of my kind of deepest happy places is to go somewhere where I can just lie down. And like that's all that I have to do. There's not anything else really expected of me. Like I will pay for that, you know?
Why? Why is this something you pay for?
I don't know. There's just so few spaces where that is true,
Oh, okay.
where you can just go and really rest.
Yes.
And like you're not surrounded by your stuff. You don't even have to think about what to do. Someone's giving you prompts.
Interesting.
There's like props, bolsters, blankets. So this is kind of like a yin yoga, which is in the same genre where you're basically holding poses for a really long time, but they're very easy, gentle poses. And the whole idea is like that you're really calming your whole nervous system down. And that it takes a lot of time to do that and space. And then while you're doing it, the teachers are kind of going around. There's two of them giving you little massages in each position.
Oh, interesting. I was curious about that. I'm like, are you massaging yourself? The teachers are also massaging you. Huh.
So I don't know. Obviously, I'm into it because this is my third time going, but it just feels like a gift. And I just have to embrace that. I really do need that time to lie down and like be guided through a restful experience.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not doing it every month, but I think every couple months or whatever. It's just something really nice to look forward to also.
That sounds lovely, actually, Malika. I could try that. And you're ending your yogi year strong.
Yes.
More yoga.
Yeah, I felt good about that. What's your valley, Azizi?
Okay, so my valley is related to my dog Bo again. He's a lovely dog. He guards the house. He protects us. He's like less than 20 pounds. And he sleeps on our bed, which is fine. That's what evolved when we adopted him from the Humane Society. That's just what happens. It used to be just Bo and I in bed because when I adopted Bo, I was not married or in a relationship. And now my husband has joined us. And so there are three of us in bed and it's very tight. And we even got a king size bed and still Bo has a hard time. Sometimes when we move or shift and he's at the end of the bed, he will kind of growl
Oh,
in the middle of the
no.
night. And it's a problem. What has helped is we have this whole coordination so that actually he sleeps with Sinai. And he's fine when he sleeps with Sinai. He does not bother her. I don't know, maybe it's a tighter space. It's fine. So most nights we try to make sure that he sleeps in Sinai's room, but it's a whole thing because he'll just run under my bed, if the door is open or whatever. So that's a whole thing. But here's the problem. Sinai is going to be leaving soon. She's leaving. I'm going to be an empty nester and I don't know what's going to happen.
You need to get a tenant that likes dogs.
I know. I need to figure this out because I don't sleep well or as well. And, we're like just all cranky in the morning when he sleeps with us. But at the same time, it's kind of cozy and he wants to be there. He's really happy when he's there. He follows me everywhere. So this is just a conundrum that I'm already starting to wonder what's going to happen.
I think we should put this out to listeners.
Yeah. Listeners, if you have ideas or suggestions, Bo is a Bichon mix. He's a lovely, fluffy white dog, but he has some street tendencies. This is what I was thinking about, Malika. So if you will listen a little bit longer. Kermit has degrees. Like he's taken classes. Kermit is book smart. He's got certificates. Bo has no certificates. He's street smarts. He's not book smart. He's street smart. So I believe Bo would survive on the streets where they found him, and he's got good instincts that way. But I don't know about learning skills. I don't know. So
To be fair,
listeners, if you have help.
Kermit also came from the streets of LA. They were probably neighbors.
But he's very refined. But Kermit comes from a different neighborhood. He's a very refined, calm kind of dog. I don't know.
Just a different personality.
Different personalities. Dogs have personalities. Mine is cranky, so need some help, especially at night.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I'm going to try to take that WW journaling workshop. It's on my list. What about you, Malika?
I'm going to try to do my Q5 planning.
Before the Q5 is over. Okay. Good luck with that, Malika.
Yes. That's what I'm going to do.
Good.
Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description.
If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us. We'd love to hear what's making you happier. Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, there's like a sneeze that's like on the horizon. I'm so sorry. But it's like not going to come.
Fine.
I should probably mute myself.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.